Hey all, and welcome back. Today we're going to look at something a little different, something that I don't think many people actually get an explanation about, or at least not enough. So we're going to have a look at it today. Before we do that, can I just say thank you all for the subscriptions, approaching 900 now, and just like I said in the last video, just completely blown away. Thank you. Really appreciate it. While I'm talking about that, why not just click the subscribe button and like the video if you like it. Watch it first, probably a good idea. And as always, why not check out the Discord server as well? It's starting to get really going now. I think there's quite a few people in there. Check it out. It's worth it. Some really friendly people down there. Anyway, on with the video. So the topic is rc.conf. So on FreeBSD, this is, you might as well think of this as your entire controlling configuration file. It's like the brain of the system. Okay, the kernel is probably your brain. So you've got your rc.conf, and this allows you to set a load of parameters and what kind of things are starting up and a whole host of stuff like that. So let's have a look at it. So if you look on my screen, you'll see that I'm logged in. I'm logged in as root so that I don't have to worry about any kind of elevation of privileges if I need to. Let's just see where I am. I'm in my home directory. Excellent. So let's change to etc. So in here, you will see, and it's scrolled off, of course it has. So there you go. There's your rc.conf, this one here. And with that are a load of other files, but we'll not touch those right now. We're just going to have a look at this one. So let's have a look at the rc.conf. And here is where you would set your basic parameters. So for instance, not starting send mail because you're using postfix, which is not what I'm doing on this box. But this box is just a workstation, so it's not using mail at all. And it's also where you'd set your host name. Now I set this to FBSD 14 because it's a 14 current. But it'll also allow you to set your keyboard map. So whatever language you're using, this is where you would set it. And I believe these days that it doesn't need the .kbd. It's just UK for UK-based people. This is also where you would set your IP config. So this one is using DHCP. And as you can see, a host of services, including ZFS, any kernel modules, the KLD list. So I've got NVIDIA, because it's using an NVIDIA graphics card, dbus, SDDM, XRDP that we did in the last video. So that's what is being controlled by this. Now, let's change directory into the defaults. And if you look down there is an rc.conf, which is your default rc.conf. Now, I've got to stress, this is not every single thing that you can put in an rc.conf, because that would be massive, and it doesn't include anything that you install from ports or packages. But let's have a look at some of the defaults that are in here. So here's a good one. So if you've got a workstation, you can suppress all the services starting message. That's always a good one. Your devd. This one's quite a good one. So if you wanted to not touch the standard rc.conf, you can create your own one and call it rc.conf.local, and that's where it's specified. So let's look at the ZFS stuff. ZFS enable and the encryption. Yeah, loads of stuff. And there's all your GPT and your Geli disks and GBDE. That's quite an interesting one. On a full reboot, you can set it to read write or read only. That's a nice one. And here, as I said before, here's your network configuration. So your host name, your host UUID if you want to use that. And if you're using NIS, you can probably, in fact you can specify your YP stuff here as well, your yellow pages. Default root. Lots of stuff. And of course, firewall stuff. Now, I'm sure if we keep going down, we'll come to PF, which is the firewall that I use. Not on this particular box, but on my production ones I do. There you go, DummyNet, if you have a need for that. NAT, IPmon, loads, there we go, PF. You get my point. Loads of stuff, including your Unbound, Blacklist D. Blacklist D is quite a good one. We'll cover that in another video, I think, but check it out, it's well worth it. Especially if you're running some sort of server that's actually on the internet. There's your SSH. Here's the NFS stuff. There we go. Lots of it. NTP. Someone once asked me why you would use NTP date and NTP enable instead of OpenNTPD. And the simple answer to that is it's one of choice. If you want to use the one that's built in and you don't want to install something extra, just use the built-in one. If you want to use one that has a lot of configuration that you can make, use OpenNTPD. It's really quite that simple. I generally use the built-in one. Doesn't mean anyone else has to. It's just easier to get up and running with the built-in one. So that's what I do. So what else have we got? Here we go. Here's your NIS and YP and your network routing. So your default router, that would be your default gateway. You just put in the IP address of that and it will route all traffic out through that. Usually that's a given that you need that. So yeah, there are a lot of options that you can set. Here's all your SendMail stuff and here's some miscellaneous stuff. So audit, the audit daemon, cron, so your scheduled tasks, line printer, save core if it dumps, tons of stuff. And quotas as well, if you want to set up quotas. If you've got a load of users using your system and you want to set it up so they don't zap all your space, your storage space, there you go, that's where you do it. So yeah, absolute tons of the stuff. And of course, jails, which we covered in a previous video. And here, is it this bit? Nope. Here we go, this bit. This is quite an interesting bit. So there are a lot of OSs out there that are based on FreeBSD. We know that. GhostBSD, Nomad BSD, that kind of thing. pfSense is also one. And this bit here allows the vendor, in whatever case it is, let's say, for instance, pfSense, to set up their own rc.conf. And there's where they would do that, in a vendor.conf. And that will override everything that's in the rc.conf. That's pretty handy. So there we go. There is your rc.conf, and it is, you know, a lot of stuff can go in that. There's also, if you want to check out more stuff, the man page, which will possibly go into a little bit more of an explanation than I have. Probably most likely. And of course, the other thing to mention is that for startup scripts, if it's something that you've installed after installing FreeBSD, it will put it in user local etc rc.d, and it will, the rc.conf will check that location for any startup scripts, as well as etc rc.d, which is quite a nice approach. So you've got two places, that's it. Not anywhere they feel like putting it. So there you go. There's an overview of rc.conf on FreeBSD. And it is a massive piece, I say software, but it's not, a massive configuration file that is endlessly configurable. You install something, you need to control it, it goes in there. You want to install a certain element of the base operating system, put it in there and it will do it for you. So there you go. rc.conf. Hope you find that useful. I know for me it's a bit of an eye-opener. There are a couple of options that I'm now going to go around and make on my systems because there are things in there that I didn't know about. Specifically the suppress startup scripts messages. That's quite a nice one. So yeah, if you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can see any other videos that I'm going to release and then you get a notification of that. Don't forget to click on the bell because it will tell you that. And don't forget to check out the Discord server. While you're at it, why not check out one of the other videos here or here? And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.